Hi everyone, it's me, Spring, the fiber enthusiast, and welcome to my channel. This is going to be a remake of one of my very early videos. I did not have the setup to really do an overhead perspective of the electric spinning wheel that I use a lot, and I wanted to update that video now that I have a little bit better setup and can kind of give you an overhead view and not be right on top of it, really close. Okay, so this is the Nano, and it has the 1.1, which is a little bit bigger motor than the original Nano 1.0. So all the difference is the motor's a little bit stronger. Now I have replaced the motor once. Mind you, I have had this for quite a few years. And it's been put to work. So I did change the motor out. I have changed the circuit board out. Again, that was a complete, have no idea what happened. But the circuit board went out. It's very, very easy to change. A couple of little tiny itty bitty set screws, and it's very easily replaced. So on the side of it, on the power side, you have your DC power here plug-in, and it's a 110. You can also plug this into a good heavy duty cell phone power pack and get several hours of it that way. It's very portable. As you can see, it's very, very tiny. As well as it can be plugged into a vehicle very easily. USB cord, it can be plugged into a vehicle. So then over here you have your speed control. And then here in the center, you have the center is off, and to the left is Z twist, and to the right is S twist. Now, my general spin is a single is done in a Z twist, and then I ply together in an S twist. And I'll get more into that in just a moment. So that's that side. Now we'll go over the front here. This is the drive pulley, the drive wheel and drive band. So this is what the motor drives, this wheel, which drives your bobbin. This back here on the back side is a tension band, and they're a little bit different now. As I said, this is a much older one, but I put a few letters on that spelling yarn, and that way I can, adjust my tension over here on the side over my bobbin and know where I'm at by the letters. So let's go ahead and look at the bobbin a little bit. I already have my leader on here, which all that is a piece of worsted weight wrapped around it, tied in a knot, and a piece of tape over the knot to keep it from slipping either direction. And also you will notice with these bobbins, when you get them, they actually come with the discs like this, the ends of the bobbin, and then this center shaft. They're all separate, and you have to put them together. Now, the best thing to do is to put a little piece of tape underneath. Let's see if I can get it off here. Underneath, and get that good and tight over the top of that piece of tape. Another thing you could do is you could actually super glue it if you wanted to, but what that would do is eliminate the ability to break it all the way down and it be extremely portable. So this is our bobbin. And then we have our flyer. And these are after aftermarket hooks. I bought these separately from somebody who does 3D printing and does a lot of stuff for the Nano. Depending on which direction you're spinning would depend on which hooks you go through. When I'm spinning in a Z twist, I'm using my right side hooks. If I'm spinning in an S twist, I would be using my left side hooks. And these are just guide hooks. Then we have our orifice hole here and the large orifice. It also comes with an orifice reducer. And what that does is it stops all the bouncing around with your yarn as you're spinning it. I happen to have taken my orifice reducer off because I was noticing I was having some issue with some fiber I was spinning getting trapped underneath the bearing. Now these bearings are completely enclosed, which means you can't see the actual bearing itself, and they are greased on the inside. So that's one less worry that you have to deal with, is wondering if you need to grease your bearing here. But sometimes if fiber gets in between your flyer and your bearing here, it can slow things down. Another thing that can happen with slowing your spin and uptake of fiber is these two pieces here start separating a little bit. And what that does is it puts pressure between your two bearings. You have a back bearing and a front bearing. And when it sits in this cradle, it actually will start putting pressure on it and not allow it to actually take up fiber. So if you're having an issue with it taking up fiber, that might be one of the things that you need to look at and make sure that your caps are good and tight and the yarn you're spinning on it hasn't pushed them out a little bit. Again, another good reason to actually put tape on the ends here and make it a more snug fit. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back bearing on after I've put my bobbin on. Now these bobbins, before I actually get any further, these bobbin caps actually fit like this, but that is incorrect. You can see the groove right here and no groove on the outside here. So that is an incorrect placement. The cap actually goes over and not into this center part of the bobbin. The groove is what holds your tension band right here and your drive band. So make sure that your bobbin is actually put together properly. Place your bobbin on the flyer, your back bearing on. And if you have a bunch of rattling going on, you can take a small piece of felt and cut out to put in here under the bobbin, under the bearings on both ends, and that'll help with the vibration. I have done so. Sometimes that is an issue, but not always. Okay, so now I'm going to pull my tension band over the back and place it into that groove and come down to the keeper and place it into that keeper on the side. Let's see if I can get this where you can see it. There's a little keeper here. I just placed it into that keeper. And now this drive band is already down around the wheel and sitting to the front. I'm going to lift it up and place it into the groove on the flyer. Just like such, this little groove right here. And you can see now just by moving that band, the flyer moves back and forth very easily. just like that. Okay, so once you have your tension band, your drive band set up, you have your leader, which is going to lead your new yarn in, you're going to come over to the side that you're using, whether it be S-twist or Z-twist. You're going to bring that leader over and go through those guides. Now, you may have the little metal guides. You can just stick them through those guides. And on the side down here, there's a couple of magnets for your little orifice hook. You're going to go in through the front of the orifice reducer, or the orifice or the orifice reducer, depending on if you have that on there or not. And come up and hook your leader and pull that leader all the way through your orifice. Replace your orifice hook so that way it doesn't disappear. So now I'm pretty well set up and ready to start using, which obviously I had it on. Let's do that again. Bring that through. Now we're good. All right. So the next step is to prepare your fiber. If you're going to be spinning from a roving, which I have right here in front of me, some really, really pretty green roving. Now, you can break this roving down into small amounts by just separating it out, finding its natural separation and separate it out, just like that. You can spin from the whole roving, which is what I generally typically do, unless I am doing a specialty spin of sorts like fractal spinning. The next thing you're going to want to do is to pull some of your fiber out, so that way you have a relatively thin amount, and you're going to want to give it a good twist between your fingers so that way it's good and taut and it's not going to pull apart when you're pulling on it. Pick up your leader and either a knot in the bottom of your leader, or how I have mine, it's a continuous loop. And you just loop that twist through the leader like that, and hold on to it so that way it doesn't run away on you. Just gonna pinch it and hold on to it. Now I'm gonna turn my spinning wheel on. I'm gonna turn the electric spinning wheel on so that way I can start building up twist into this leader and allow myself to be able to start feeding yarn into it. So here we go. Turn it on. It's building up twist. And now you can see there is quite a bit of twist. If I go and bring my fingers towards each other, you will see a pigtail happen, what we call a pigtail. Like that. See how that's spun back on itself there? That's because there's a lot of energy and it needs to go somewhere. So I'm going to bring the camera back a little bit so that way you can see where this energy is going. So here we are, my fingers down here where I have looped it around my leader. Now what I'm going to do is simply draft out by pulling a little bit of fiber out. And I'm going to release that energy up into this area between my fingers by letting go with the one hand, and see it turn. And it's now twisted all the way to my other hand. Okay, so that is like the basic of creating twist in your fiber. I'm going to go ahead and get this up a little bit onto the bobbin let you watch it. Okay, I've got quite a bit of twist here built up on purpose. I'm going to draft out some more fiber and slide my fingers down to allow that twist to run up into the fiber. Get this fiber up onto the bobbin, and then we'll slide back and look at what I'm doing with the fiber. Because it does not change, I'm going to continue to do the same thing from start to finish. Okay, so I'm good and on the bobbin now. Can see where it is starting to go onto the bobbin. So now I'm going to go back a little bit so that way you can see what I'm doing with my fingers. Letting that twist build up and go up into the fiber, drafting out just a little at a time. Speed is too high, so I want to turn it down and get rid of some of this excess twist that built up. There we go. There we go. And all I'm doing is drafting out, pulling it out of the roving, just a little at a time, and allowing that twist to run through my fingers, and my fingers are stopping it from going too far. So every so often, you need to keep an eye on your bobbin. You're going to want to move your guides as you're spinning, because the more even and consistent you can fill your bobbin, the better off you will be, because what will happen is it'll allow it to be a balanced machine and not put undue stress onto the machine itself. So I'm going to go ahead and start again. Go nice and slow so that way you can see. I am much closer than I care to be to the machine. I prefer to be way back from the machine. Now see, it pulled too much from my hand, so I'm just backing it out a little bit, taking some of the twist out by twisting it the opposite direction, drafting this thick section out, and letting the excess twist run down into that thick area that I'm making thinner. And now I can put it onto the bobbin. Again, it's going way too fast. This is something that you go through when you first start spinning, is learning how fast you can spin and what you're spinning and all of that. It just takes time, and don't be afraid to stop and back it up some and adjust the energy that is in here that you're spinning. And then just continue to spin. Pre-drafted fiber is really, really, really nice to spin from. It helps with your consistency a lot better than just starting off jumping straight into working from real thick roving. It is highly suggested to pre-draft your fiber out. Now, I have other videos on drop spindle, and I discuss drafting your fiber. I also discuss how to ply and all of the different techniques as far as what you need to do to the fiber after you've spun it, that type of stuff. So you can check those out. That goes for using your Nano as well. So you just sit here and draft the fiber out and spin. Now this, you can put suction cups on your Nano to keep it from doing this. Like I said, normally I'm a lot further out, and after showing you the speed, I've got to get it set again to a comfortable speed where it's not going to be trying to remove this from my hand. Another issue that can happen is if your tension band is too tight, it will try to rip the fiber straight from your hand and onto the bobbin before you ever get a chance to put any twist in it. So just loosening up your tension band can help. So that's the basic overview of how to use the Nano, the different little bits and pieces of it that you go through when you're working on setting it up for the very first time. It comes with 6 bobbins. They are 2-ounce bobbins, and a lot of different little changes have happened since I purchased this one. But they're basically all the same. The tensioner is a little different now. It's got a dial on it to tighten it down. I think they come with suction cups now to keep it from moving. I don't use them normally. I don't have too much issue with it sliding all over the place, but as you've seen, it decided that it was going to today. You know, nothing can go smooth every time, right? So at any rate, this is the Nano 1.1, and it is by Dreaming Robots. All of the information for Dreaming Robots will be down in the description box below. I am not sponsored or affiliated with Maurice and Dreaming Robots. This is just an updated version of my original Nano video. Now that I have the proper equipment to actually be overhead so you can see what's going on a little bit better. I hope that this has answered some questions that may be going around. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. Send me an email by all means, or comment down below in the comment section. Be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, bye for now.